Denver Broncos Mile High View, no commercials, no fucking bullshit. And we had a press conference that was so deep in bullshit, you needed a life vest, just so you wouldn't drown in it. I don't know what's going on with journalistic integrity, but having been in media, having covered, I have actually been at NFL pressers. I've never seen anything like this. One, and I almost believe it was a plant. One, I'm not saying it was, but it almost seemed like it. One reporter had the balls to bring up the obvious, and that was to discuss John Elway. What I don't understand is, and then let me just expand on that a little bit first. And then KOA, they have a Bronco. You see, it's a kind of a joint Bronco KOA thing. Somebody from the Dove Valley posts a tweet, and I almost wonder, was this tweet from John Elway himself, saying that the question about John Elway was a TMZ ambush question. And let me ask you something, Colby. When have you ever heard it some sort of a wild, ridiculous question when the president of operations, the guy who actually hired the head coach you're firing, doesn't even show up for the press conference? I would think that a journalist, just even a high school journalist, would ask, where is this guy? Just a simple question. I didn't say he was the problem. I'm not even going that far. I'm just saying you would think a journalist would ask, where is the president of football operations? Why isn't he not at this press conference? I mean, you have him not showing up, and then nobody, not one person except this one guy, and then they KOA, the Dove Valley's people that are in KOA, put out a tweet, air a tweet that this guy is somehow asking, being a horrible journalist, to ask the most obvious fucking question. I mean, Elway should be embarrassed. Let me ask you this. Does his absence explain the lack of transparency with this organization? And, I'm just going to ask you this. If you were going to look at a job with the Denver Broncos, our STR, all these guys can ignore all this, act like it never happened. But if you're to me, what I'm trying to get at is, it looks like if I'm a coach, a head coach, a possible head coach, and I see that the guy that hired me didn't even show up to my firing press conference, it tells me the organization has the back of John Elway, but it doesn't have the back of me, the candidate. It speaks volumes. Am I off base with anything I'm saying?
No, you're not off base on anything you're saying.
I mean, let's just say this is even John Elway. Let's just say you take any team. Would the vice president of operations, would the president of the operations who hired the head coach who got fired not show up? I mean, isn't it the standard procedure to show up for this? I didn't want to see Ellis. I could give a shit less what the fuck Ellis has to say. According to STR, he was already supposed to be gone. It sounds like these guys aren't going anywhere to me.
I agree with you.
Now, I understand when he opens up with the ownership that said exactly what we were saying, which is diametrically different than what everybody else has been putting out, that this judge has to decide on this complicated case. Her words, not mine. But I don't know. It just floored me that not only did John Elway not show up, that not one reporter, even let's say that, okay, this guy's out of his mind to say that John Elway, to ask anything or accuse John Elway of somehow undermining the coach. You think maybe that one journalist there would say, well, where the hell is this guy? It just asked the question, where is he? Oh, his aunt has cancer. He's got to be with. I'm sure it's some. I can't wait to hear what the excuse is. I'm sure that, and I wouldn't even trust it to begin with. But I'm gonna end with this John Elway thing. To me, that was the elephant, the 10,000-pound elephant that didn't end up in the room. They didn't want to question. They didn't want to start hitting questions, and I'll tell you why. Because George Paton and John Elway in the same room, the obvious question is, who picked Surtain? Who picked the number? And this is important about the firing of Fangio. It's very important. Who picked Surtain? George Paton, you came out and said John Elway was actually, and Kliss could have said this because Kliss verified this. George Paton, who with John Elway there, and if they have to admit, and John Elway's there, that yeah, I picked this. Then what else has he been meddling? I think they don't want the fact that this guy is like you said, everybody else knows it. They show him looking with his binoculars, show him coming out of the tunnel, but he can't show up for this press conference. And I'm going to make that a point because it just undermines everything, in my opinion.
So I want to unpack on what you said there because you talked about a lot, and I just want to address it. This whole thing from the start had a big old clusterfuck. John Elway, I'm talking to you directly, John Elway. You don't have the balls to face your downfall, and what you do is you hide behind an empty suit like Joe Ellis and an empty suit like George Paton. Let's just say it like it is. They're empty suits. But I mean, there are no words for me to explain this situation anymore. I mean, we can speak it till we're blue in the face, but until we get a proper owner in this organization, this cancer that I was hearing all day from STR and Mile High Huddle just put an onion layers upon onion layers upon onion layers in front of Elway, just shows the ineptitude, the cancer, the dysfunction, and quite frankly, the toxic fan base that we are in journalism, that we are under in this current age in Denver Broncos history. I do not give a fuck what you people have to say about Joe Ellis. This is all Joe Ellis's fault. Yeah, he's part of the problem, but do you really think that he's the one calling the shots in that organization? Do you really believe that, ladies and gentlemen? And I'm talking to all the John Elway fans and all the John Elway apologists out there. Do you really think that Joe Ellis is calling the shots? And like you said with Patrick Surtain, this whole thing is a bigger issue. This is eternally. And I sent you a voice message earlier about that same person, and I believe it was planted. I mean, let's just say it like it is. It was planted. Okay.
It seems. Well, I'll just say it seems a lot like it.
Well, because if that was the only question you're going to ask John Elway, I believe it was planted. There's no question in my mind that it seemed to be planted. In my question, it was planted. I don't give a shit because KOA was coming out, like you said, about that whole KOA bullshit that they were spinning. But going back to George Paton, buddy, why'd you come here?
To be a yes man.
No, we can say the same thing about Fangio, but I want to say the same thing about George Paton. Why'd you come here? I mean, seriously, you Fangio, Rich Scangarillo, all why'd you come here? Players, why do you want to come here? Coaches, why do you want to come here? When it's Groundhog's Day, we're going to see this again in 2 to 3 years, unless we have a proper owner in place. You really think that this dysfunction is going to go away? Ask yourself that, Broncos country. Ask yourself that. This is not going to go away until that man, John Elway, is out of here. I mean, he has no say. Lock the door. You're done. You can come for your ceremonies. You can come for that. But when it comes to football operations and organizational operation, no, I don't want you anywhere near this organization whatsoever.
What I got out of this, again, is everything that we keep hearing from this Dove Valley is we have a foundation. You do not have a foundation. You have delusion. That's why KOA, there's this little smug bastard that's at KOA, and he's talking to all the STR like, I'm the king of all the information that comes out. It's like, you didn't say anything this season except the playoffs. You got nothing right. We bat 1,000 here. Whether you like to hear it or not, we tell it like it is. And we're going to keep it real here. We're not fucking around. Okay? You didn't say shit. Okay, KOA. You didn't say fucking shit. Except you took the fans and you gave them this hope that you promised the moon and you couldn't hit the treetops. We said that was going to happen. And then there's all these apologists out there that, that doggone Vic Fangio, we should have, really developed Locke. We should have developed Locke. Who was saying all this stuff before? And George Paton, you're setting yourself up to fail. You got a job so you could fail because these people, you said, no, the quarterback, it's not important. You said the coach, get the coach, get the coach. They don't want to hear that. It's quarterback. That's all they want to know. That's all they know. So you set yourself up to fail because you're going to get a coach who doesn't, you're going to be desperate to get a coach. You have a list. You're not going to get the best person to come here. I'm thinking Pete Carroll. I'm thinking Pete Carroll. Believe it or not, because I can't think of anybody that has a position that they have a good, like, say, guy in Dallas. Why would he leave? For this? To be in this clown show? I think you're going to either get somebody from college that wants a shot, or you're going to get somebody who's fired and is not going to get. And let's go back to KOA. Before I go to KOA, I just want to say this too. If you're a coach and the front office is just dead set on these players, who are you going to get rid of? Who can you get rid of if they think you got a foundation? You say, and you go and evaluate players and say, man, these people don't work. These people aren't any good. Oh no, you can't touch them because this is the foundation. Then what are you even here as a head coach? What? So to me, that it's already, they're talking in a language to me that seems like they're handcuffing anybody who comes in here. You make it work with who we got. Like you don't have a say to get rid of people, for instance. Oh, you can get rid of some, but you can't get rid of certain. You know what I'm saying? It's just more dysfunction. And these people, these fans, these wash, rinse, repeat fans, you were going to hold John Elway accountable for all this. It's what y'all said. It's what STR said. The guy doesn't even show up to the press conference to discuss the guy he hired, the firing. And where's that accountability at, people? There's no accountability here. So you're right, Colby. It's going to be another couple years, and it's going to be fire this whole group of people that came in, whoever they happen to rope in. It's like I said, I just cannot see. Of course, I said this with Fangio too. I was just like, I couldn't believe he would do it. And that's where my criticism of him was, I don't care what promises John Elway. It's John Elway. You can't trust him. Just who in their right mind would come to this organization? Who? Outside somebody who's fired and can't go anywhere? And KOA. KOA wants to bring in a lot of the Atlanta Falcon mess over here. That's what they're connected right with Dove Valley.
Oh, man.
So, enjoy that. Enjoy your Atlanta Falcon cast-offs. Just enjoy that. That's what they're talking. They're connected with Dove Valley.
Now, I want to talk about what you said there again. Foundation. So if there was a foundation in place, why did these players want to leave Denver? And if there was a foundation in place, why didn't Fangio and these players succeed?
It was all Fangio's fault.
Well, you know what? I don't give a fuck if it was all Fangio's fault, because look what happened. You ran my apologies. You ran a good defensive player or defensive coach out the building, because you know what? And Dan Jacobs saying that, Fangio only's had 2 good defenses in the decades he's coached. Dan Jacobs, okay. I cannot do it anymore. I can't, because you know what? This, again, wash, rinse, repeat. 2 years, we're going to be going through the same exact cycle. And KOA, spewing they want the Atlanta Falcons cast off. Are you really that fucking delusional thinking that some of those people will come here?
Well, they'll all be out of jobs.
Well, I don't care. I mean, I'd rather go to a college. I'll go to a college gig before I come to this shit show.
I mean, if you have 2 brain cells to rub together, yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's what we thought, and George Paton just getting all fidgety with that John Elway question, because he knows that he's on the leash, just like Vance Joseph was, just like Vic Fangio was, just like all these coaches and players are, okay? And then Dalton Reisner and Draymond Jones. Oh yeah, we're gonna bring a culture. We're gonna be a driven culture. We want to get a leader of men. Who doesn't this remind you exactly like the Vance Joseph hiring? We want a leader. We want a guy that can change the culture here.
Where's my music? I got you, babe.
And this is exactly why I'm saying it's Groundhog's Day, wash, rinse, repeat. Because I don't give a fuck who you get as head coach, because we all know, just like you said, and I agree with you, they're handcuffed. They can't get rid of players like a Garrett Bowles, a Shelby Harris, a Draymond Jones, and Justin Simmons. No. You can get rid of players like a Micah Kaiser or Jonathan Harris and a Kenny Young. Oh, absolutely, you can do that. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to those John Elway players, no.
You can get rid of Cooper too. We'll do, yeah. But don't get rid of those John Elway players.
And I'm frustrated as a fan right now. I'm frustrated because it is just mentally draining to see the same process over and over and over again. There's no stick-to-itiveness into what you want to be as an identity. And then you just lost your defensive identity in Vic Fangio. So now you have to do both. You have to get an offense and a defensive identity. But that's not going to come until you get proper organizational stability from proper ownership. Oh, we want offense and defense alignment. We want all these players. But until you have a proper system in place with a proper owner that is hands off and lets the people inside of that organization in that anomaly do their job, nothing's going to change. You really think that, without Vic Fangio, this defense is going to take off? I think, no, it's not. Do you think that with a firing of Pat Shurmur is going to change anything on that offense? Who on that offense are you scared of? Who on that offense is a skill position player that I feel so great about? Those receivers that you paid $85 million to are a joke. And so is Jerry Jeudy. He had 0 touchdowns this year. Oh, but that's all the quarterback, right?
But wait. Wasn't he supposed to transform the offense?
Yeah, and who was his pick again? Oh, the man
with the J, ends with the E. And he couldn't show up to the press conference.
That's exactly what I was going to say. There's no accountability in this organization. The one that's accountable and the one that runs his show is the guy that didn't show up to the press conference today. It's not that. It's not that empty suit Joe Ellis that everybody likes to gang up on. It's all John Elway's fault. Get it through your fucking heads, Broncos country, because I'm tired of explaining it to you and being blue in the face every fucking time. You guys need to do your research. You need to find out what the fuck's going on in this organization. You need to go directly to John Elway because he is the main reason why we're in this predicament right now.
Well, to show you just how dysfunctional the Broncos really are up at the top, what did they say was a main culprit to the Broncos' problems? And I was floored because they kept saying it. They said it was an organizational problem. Okay? They kept saying that. But that was out of one side of their mouth. The other side of the mouth, we're just going to keep doing what we've been doing.
Exactly. And that's why I'm saying we're Groundhog's Day, wash, rinse, repeat. This is what we heard when Vance Joseph was getting hired. This is what we heard when Vic Fangio was getting hired. You really think that going after a guy that's probably going to get fired somewhere else in the last opportunity here, like a Pete Carroll's a perfect example of that.
Pete Carroll, yeah.
Perfect example of that. Or a Mike Zimmer or a Leslie Frazier. Mike Zimmer was.
Yeah, Mike Zimmer, yes.
It would not shock me if we go after Mike Zimmer, but you know what? At the end of the day, they ain't going to be able to get the player personnel they want because they're handcuffed.
Well, because we got that foundation. Don't mess with that foundation.
What foundation? What?
I don't know
what are you guys talking about.
They're so delusional. They're delusional.
God damn.
I mean, Fangio was keeping it together on defense with baling wire and duct tape. Oh, we gave him everything. He wanted all these players you wouldn't give him. Again, where's John Elway? We could ask him these questions. Oh, well, he didn't. He had to get his nails done. Oh, I can't wait to hear the excuse. I'm sure somebody died. It had to have been. Something lame. And I'm not going to buy it for 1 second. I'm not. It's just, I don't care. COVID protocol. I don't want to hear it. It was a Zoom meeting. It was Skype. Whatever. I mean, come on. That just blew me away. I'm like, are you kidding? He's not there. And nobody even asked the question. Just forget what the other guy said. Just, where is he?
Because they're afraid to ask it. They're afraid to ask it.
Oh, doesn't that tell you everything you need to know?
And those are the people that you listen to and get your trusted information from? Wow.
They can't even ask the most basic, obvious journalistic question. I mean, this is high school journalism 101.
Oh,
where's the president of football operations? Where's the guy that hired him? Where is he?
And I have to critique certain criticism on other online platform, Mile High Huddle. I have to say this to him. I really do. And I apologize. I'm not trying to attack anybody, but I have to because I'm going to call out bullshit when I see it. So Mile High Huddle did their latest video on, the Vic Fangio firing. Okay. And they have the gumption and the balls to say that, towards the end, John Elway didn't leave Vic Fangio and George Paton in a hellhole. Okay. So you're gonna tell me that towards the end of his career he had these great drafts that everybody was just enamored by? Yeah. You're gonna tell me player personnel that you guys you told us was playoff player personnel that we didn't get to the playoffs. We were right again. That these players on this team are playoff bound. They're playoff personnel. I heard it 2 years ago. I heard it 5 years ago. It's just nothing's going to change until we get proper ownership. And I'm just waiting for it. I'm waiting for it because whatever coach we hire, I know in the back of my mind, and in the back of your mind, and some of our viewers know in the back of their mind that George Paton, even that coach, will not be able to do jack shit until that man upstairs, the president of football operations, is gone. Oh, he's gone in March. He's gone in March. Is he? Because Mike Kliss said that he's going to have a say in this coaching search. That's been confirmed.
Well, but George Paton was saying it. He was saying that, they're going to come here because of Joe Ellis and John Elway.
Yeah, and John Elway's going to have say, and I'm going to bounce my ideas off of him.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. Don't ignore. Don't say it. Yeah. He
wow.
doesn't exist. See, he didn't show up because he doesn't exist. I mean, how? And again, again, this is where I blame Fangio. I'm sorry. I just could never really believe that he actually signed on the dotted line. I was floored. I'm like, dude, this is not going to end. Did you hear my video? I said he's going to get fired. This isn't going to last. He isn't going to have a say in anything. He's the defensive Vance Joseph. It's just.
And when he goes somewhere else to succeed, we will link that video to you all. I'm sorry.
Interested to hear what he has to say in the early press conferences. It'll be a bidding war for him.
Oh, it already is probably as we're speaking. I guarantee you there's a bidding war going on right now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hey, congratulations, STR and the John Elway fans. You guys ran out another good coach who's going to go succeed somewhere else. Congratulations. You guys killed another coach.
Well, and that's just it. They're sitting here laughing at the Raiders, like that, laughing at the Chargers, and
the Raiders just won.
Yeah,
they're going to the playoffs. Why do you think they're going to the playoffs?
Oh, yeah, they're a mess. They're not going to the playoffs. The Broncos are going to the playoffs. Remember the beginning of the season?
That bullshit spin. Yep.
Yeah. They had everything that went wrong for the Raiders. They still made the playoffs because guess what? I think they got player personnel, right?
Yeah, they actually went after Solomon Thomas and the Lions this offseason. Just saying.
Yeah, and they were wreaking havoc on granted on a Chargers offensive line that's in a rebuild. It's kind of and you can better believe they're going to be looking at this is a good season for them to bolster their a good off season to bolster up their offensive line. You can guarantee they're going to go for it.
And really, like, this whole thing, like, again, I just have to say this. The people that say that the ownership news is old news, you guys were wrong once again, because that Kaiser thing is still going on. It's still in delegation. And on top of that, they were talking about that in the press conference, ladies and gentlemen. And Joel is just don't talk about that.
Well, no, he was absolutely right because he said exactly what we said.
Well, of course he did, but we all know that he can't really tell the whole thing because
Well, he didn't say what STR is saying. He didn't say what the online. He said what we said.
Of course he did what we said, but he couldn't go full into detail with it because his lawyers probably told him not to.
Well, I'm sure he legally can't, but he did say enough to make our point. We said that this Kaiser thing is not an open and shut case because we just said what the judge said. Could it go the Broncos' way? Yeah, sure. The judge said it's a complicated case, and that guess what? That, I hope, throws a big wrench into Elway's ownership plans.
Oh, plan right up his sleeve. Like you're rolling up your sleeves right now. That's exactly what he's doing behind the scenes, getting ready to be sneaking that door with ownership. We all know that's what's going on right now. And on top of that, why the hell do I have to listen to these people on the other online platforms telling them that how right they were with Vic Fangio? Yeah, you're right about killing another coach, just like you kill all these quarterbacks.
Right, with Fangio. They were the ones I linked to it. They were
that Fangio wasn't a good defensive coordinator / head coach. And we all know that's bullshit.
Well, he's going to go succeed somewhere else. It's
in Arizona.
Like, I don't know. I mean,
wow. I'm sorry, but this is just, man, it's ridiculous that I have to sit through another bullshit yes man hiring that we're going to be coming up on here.
I'm telling you, he'll end up in a good situation. So they can say everything. They can say everything they want to say. The Broncos are going to be dwelling in that cellar. Vic Fangio will go off and succeed somewhere. And that's just the way it's going to be. And it's going to be another "we told you so." That should be the name of our channel, because they like to say, they have to keep saying they're right all the time because we keep pounding them, right into the turf. Talking points are only going to take you so far. We tell it like it is, and I mean, we really tell it like it is, and that's why thumbs down, don't want to hear, we're going to go to the playoffs, you're crazy, you guys are conspiracy theorists. Yeah, people who are doing this aren't the sane people. They're not the ones that have their faculties together. It's the people that can see through the bullshit. They're the ones that are sane and can tell you like it is, and then usually are more than not right. So it's the way it is.
So we're going to go through another season through all the same bullshit again.
Yeah,
pretty much.
That's what I got out of the press conference. That's what I got out of it. All these other platforms can do is just lament on Fangio. They can't say one thing about how Elway and the front office, how they had any part of this. They can't do it. That's why we have to be here and say, I'm saying, this is me, that Fangio was a moron, an idiot for fucking signing the line. I said that from the beginning.
I'm saying that about Payton then. I'm saying that about George Paton.
And I'm with you with George Paton too. If you're going to be a yes man, you're a dead man walking. If you're going to yes man for that front office, you're a dead man walking, because they don't have their shit together.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. What I took away from the press conference is that they bullshitted, and that it was a complete clusterfuck. And on top of that, I didn't believe a word anybody said in that press conference. Not one. Not George Paton, not Joe Ellis, those empty suits. Because I want to hear from the man directly himself, John Elway. And John Elway, if you ever come across this video, I don't understand why you think that you can do this shit, because I'm tired of it. I really am fucking tired of your shit.
John Elway, he can do that shit. He's John Elway.
John Elway or not. Dude, and guarantee you, even Pat Bullen would have given a shit. Pat Bullen would have never gave a shit. John Elway would have been gone 3 to 4 years ago. We all fucking know this.
Well, John Elway couldn't in 31 other teams. He'd never survive. He'd never survive.
He took a demotion. You think on 31 other teams that he would have promoted himself to president of football operations? I can't believe people
make this stuff up. You just can't make it up. You can't make it up.
John Elway, I'm done with you, bro. I'm done with you, buddy. Okay, go. Just go. I'm done with your bullshit.
Yeah, hopefully, John Elway, that Kaiser thing bites you in the ass and you are so out of here. I just hope we can get you out of here.
Look what you've done to this team. Look what you've done to it. Pat Bullen had I'm telling you, Pat Bullen had this organization on the right track until you, John Elway, had to fuck it up. And you really think that Pat Bullen is rolling in his grave? Yes, he is. Because I am sick and tired of this bullshit from fans, from STR, and from people that's involved in that organization that say, oh, it's an organizational problem, but we're just going to do the same thing we've been doing.
We've been doing. No, because we've got the foundation. We got the foundation.
What foundation do you have? No one wants to come here. Players, coaches, the list goes on and on and on. Unless you're duped to come here. And George Paton and Vic Fangio, you were right on Vic Fangio, and I commend you for that. But this time I'm on George Paton's ass right now. Why the fuck did you come here? Oh, because of fucking Elway and Joe Ellis, huh? Those people don't give a fuck.
They're the John Elway fan club will be on your side, because they're not going to like the coach, and he's a dead man walking. Peyton's a dead man walking. They're not going to like the coach. They're not going to like the quarterback, and because you're not getting Aaron Rodgers. I'm telling you, you're not getting Aaron Rodgers. They have no patience to develop. They had a guy they could have developed. Everybody around the league's like, why didn't you just not give up on this. And here, I was listening to them say, Fangio just should have given Locke a chance. It was all Fangio. He hated Locke, and
we didn't.
Yeah. All I know is that the plan was to get Kubiak. John Elway screwed that up.
Of course,
Kubiak wanted nothing to do with Elway. Walked out. They had a scramble to get Scangarello. That sucked in Drew Lock, and then they pulled the carpet from Drew Lock. It was succeeding in this Mike Shanahan type system, and then they, I want to be the Kansas City Chiefs. I want to be the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay, we're going to apply that to Fangio. We should also apply it through the Vance Joseph era, where they pulled the rug under Case Keenum, put him in a fucking offense that didn't fit his strengths. And so this will go on until John Elway's out of here. We just have to. People, you have to admit it now. It's done and over with. Until that man's out of he'll be out of here in March. No, he won't. No, he won't. No, he won't. And
the Broncos,
he won't.
The Broncos made Bridgewater a lower third quarterback.
Well, the Broncos also killed 2 quarterbacks in the same season. So I'm not.
It's killed 2 quarterbacks.
So you're killing.
The Cleveland Browns did that.
Not even the Detroit Lions did.
Or the Jets.
But you know what? And I'm going to say this, and I don't care what people say here. We are the worst organization in the National Football League. I'm saying it right.
That's where the delusion.
I'm sorry.
That's where the delusion is. The mask psychosis. The mask psychosis formation. Okay, that's where
people giving me shit that the Raiders are going to the playoffs. See, and that's what we're at now. That's where we're at.
Yeah, they're going with all the things that happened. Yeah, and they've got a culture there. They've got a culture, and Albert, Big Al, he was saying, I can't put my finger on it. We don't have a culture, but I can't put my finger on it. If you take your John Elway blinders off, you'll find why we don't have a culture here.
I think I know what the little weasel you're talking about is. Benjamin Albright. He's a weasel.
Benjamin Albright?
Benjamin Albright. That's who you're talking about. I know exactly who you're talking about because he's a fucking weasel.
Oh, is he a reporter?
Yep.
Was he there and didn't ask where the hell is Elway?
Yep. Nope. No, don't blame him. Just blame Fangio and Shurmur.
Well, I'm just going to say they all failed in my book. Every single one of them failed. Not one could ask a basic question, a question that's not outrageous. Why is the president of football operations and the guy who hired him, why is he not at this press conference? Not one. And that's what I'm saying. There's such control. I can't think of I can't think of one team that their reporter at least wouldn't ask that question.
You know what? You bring up a great point. I'm telling you, that one was a troll. That was the one that was trying to appease people like us. They were trolling us. I guarantee you, because that is exactly what they were trying to do. Oh, you can have your little moment there, but we're going to troll you, motherfuckers. I guarantee you that was the whole plan in the point. They set that thing up in there. They could
troll it later on.
Yeah, and they played it.
There was nothing wrong with the question.
No, there wasn't. And
they couldn't even ask well, he said, Elway needs to be held accountable. Yeah. Yeah.
And no one say a word in it. No one, and they were just, I don't know what to say. Like, because they know they're not stupid. They are.
Now, when all this was going on the last time, when they were looking for a head coach, they said they were going to hold John Elway accountable. Now it's like this crazy kooky thing. Whoa, hold John Elway accountable. Oh, that's kooky, crazy. There's nothing kooky or crazy about it. You're kooky and crazy if you don't ask the question.
Exactly.
That's what I'm
Fire them.
Yeah,
it's common sense, people. Do your reporting right. It's common sense to ask them. It's not going to hurt you a damn bit. You might lose access to the team, but who gives a shit?
No, you're better off not having access to the team.
We don't have access to the team, and we're batting 1,000 right now.
The caller had he said it. He hit it right out of the ballpark. He called up and he says, where was the enthusiasm like they had in this last game during Philadelphia, the Raiders, and kept Cleveland, these games. And he says, from where I sit, he said, it looks like there's a player personnel problem. And that jackass for A.K.A, who is also with Dove Valley, part of their media, he's like, no. Oh, no. And that's where the problem is right there. They are so convinced up at Dove Valley that their player personnel they're a playoff player personnel. Yeah, sure, Williams. Williams. You screwed your quarterbacks. You sabotaged them. You have no lines. You have no culture. You have no identity. Yeah, you know what? You're right. Maybe Draymond Jones, if you had the right culture, the right coaching, and the right system, all the things we just keep talking about. Yeah, maybe in that situation, Draymond Jones is a valuable player and a contributor. But what I'm saying is that it's.
I know what you're saying.
It's.
It's Groundhog's Day.
Well, Justin Simmons and Bowles are no. I mean, they gone. The receivers are more like Robbins. Well, because they've regressed.
Doesn't surprise me because that's all they do is regress because they listen to STR and think they're the best in the world.
Well, they listen to John Elway when he signs the check.
Yeah, because it's John Elway's show. It's not George Paton. It's not it's John Elway's show. And I'm sick of this bullshit that you guys just think that we're just a quarterback away. Like, I've heard this for years. Like, and when people ask me now, I'm just like, we are far from a quarterback away. Our player personnel is so dreadful that it's below the norm.
Well, players, I think too, what we don't even, we know it and we don't emphasize enough is we've got players in a bad situation. We have them in like a black hole. We got them.
Are we talking about certain? Are we talking about certain players? Because
sure. Oh no, like yeah. I mean, like I got it. Yeah. Simmons.
Well,
he's a lost cause. Simmons is a lost cause.
Bowles is a lost cause.
Bowles is a lost cause.
Reisner. You could probably talk about Reisner.
Alexander Johnson. I mean, it's a lost cause.
Josie Jewell, please.
Harris. Well, the offense. Glasgow, for instance, overpaying that.
Ron Leary, overpaying for that. Like
on and on and on.
You ready for some more overpays this offseason? You ready for it? I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
Man,
it's not John Elway's money. It's not his money.
No, but he's the one that runs the show. So
he's the one that, signs off on the checks, gives the okay to sign off on the checks. Yeah.
But you know what? This is the same thing we've heard for years now. I mean, are we not? I mean, me and you aren't surprised about this, but people out there that, do the whole thing that you were doing earlier, absolutely. They're just shocked that somebody brought up John Elway in the presser. And then they bash him for it, saying that he's a TMZ type reporter or something like that. You know what? And see, that's the cancer I'm talking about.
Of course it's the cancer. I mean, that's just journalism 101. Like I said, just take John Elway out of this just for a second and say the president of football operations was not at a press conference. He should have absolutely been there discussing a hire that he himself made. This is not hard to figure out.
But to these fans, it is. To some of these fans.
Yes. Everybody, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that this is going to affect who they get coming in.
Yeah, we're not going to get Nathaniel Hackett because of Aaron Rodgers, because that's what they want. I'd be shocked if Dan Quinn comes here. But with STR
that sounds like Mile High Huddle kind of thinking.
Oh yeah, it is, because they want to bring in the Falcons West Coast zone run West Coast. I think the two guys on my top of my list are Mike Zimmer and Pete Carroll. I think Pete Carroll, Mike Zimmer are perfect.
Yeah, for this place. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because they know that they're set. And, well, yeah, we'll come here and be yes men, and yeah, we'll get good pay.
Yo,
yeah.
I could see Zimmer really being a yes man with Peyton there, and Peyton, oh yeah,
he could get fired, and
he's very fireable.
Yeah,
and more so than Pete Carroll. I mean, Pete Carroll, that may be an Elway favorite.
You know what? And I actually been thinking about this a lot. And you have a Cleveland Browns fan that, whole Baker. I think Baker's going to stay there.
That's what he thinks.
Well, I'm just saying I'm just connecting the dots. Mike Zimmer and Kirk Cousins. I'm just connecting the dots here, just like I did with Teddy Bridgewater. So you connect the dots, bring in Mike Zimmer. Let's go all in and trade for Kirk Cousins, and let's give them Drew Lock.
Yeah, they were trying to upsell retreads. You can't say anything bad about retreads, they said.
Oh, wow. I'm ready to go get another retread.
Yeah, that's all they know. They don't know anything else.
You ready? So Kirk Cousins and Mike Zimmer might actually be realistic for us here. Ready for that, Kirk?
I mean, you got Peyton was saying about quarterback development, but he's just a what do you call it? A dark shadow and what was it? A talking head in the dark.
He's a talking head in the dark. Like he's a yes man. Yes, Mr. Elway, I'll say this, and when they bring you up,
I believe in this, but I'll say that. This other thing.
Yeah, and if they bring you up, I'll defend you to the end. I got you. Like, oh God, it's just frustrating. I'm tired of this shit. I'm just really tired of this shit. And giving shit for Fangio. Fangio. I'm gonna say this for him. What you were working with, I totally understand. But, there are players that were playing way better than our starters, like a Kenny Young, a Baron Browning, Jonathan Harris. Like, the players that he were able to bring in were upgrades, I guess, when they were able to play. So I will give Fangio that. I'm going to miss Fangio because I love Fangio. I love his system. I believe in his system. And now we ran that motherfucker out of town, and he'll go succeed and probably be in the playoffs here in a year or two. And
I think one thing people missed when they didn't tune into what we were doing is how we really got in depth with what Fangio did in Chicago with player personnel, who he brought in, versus what the Denver Broncos, what he was allowed to get. I think that if people really dove into that, I think that would have really exposed Elway even more, the front office even more, that control on player personnel. They are so dead set that they got this foundation they keep talking about, and they just keep digging in further and just digging the hole further and further and further. They're just entrenching themselves just deeper and deeper.
You know what? And I heard that same thing when Vance Joseph was about to get hired, that this isn't a rebuild, it's a reboot. We still have the foundation in place. I've heard this story before. So get ready for Mike Zimmer or Pete Carroll, and we'll go from there, because this is going to be the same old shit. Same old shit.
Oh, yeah. If not, it probably will go down the tubes a lot faster.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot worse. I think this is going to be 10 times worse than Fangio.
And you know what? This is what I'm going to tell all you people. This is what you wanted. When that happens, again, you guys are like, what? We didn't make the playoff. And still believing that you're bull crap. I'm just going to say this is what you wanted. This is what you wanted. And you got it. You got exactly what you wanted. So stop crying. Stop bitching. You got what you wanted. Elway's in there doing fine. He's doing swell. You got what you wanted. So I'm really curious about this ownership thing. That's really because I don't trust this trust at all. Any of it.
I don't trust I don't trust the trust nor Elway. I don't trust them both.
No. So, and this this Kaiser thing's a real thorn in their side.
Yeah. Yeah, for Joe Ellis to bring that up, it must be a real thorn in their side right now. And I'm that's fine with me because
Mhm.
I thank you, Kaiser. Just I thank you.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for this Kaiser case, oh good God. Oh Lord.
Absolutely. All right. We'll end it
All right.
there, and we'll, when anything big happens or we want to go over some tape or something, maybe we'll do that next.
All right. We'll probably a coaching hire probably beginning next week, maybe. I don't know.
Well, interviews, but that interviews don't mean anything.
No, but I think that you'll probably get a good gauge on who they're hiring by the end of the week or beginning of next week, in my opinion.
I don't know. I mean, like I said, people can come here and talk all they want, but that doesn't mean they really want to be here. They may be coming here just so that it ups their value, Up, the Broncos may hire me. You better get me,
Yep.
They're desperate.
I agree.
All right. Take care.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.